It's Severe Weather Preparedness Week, with Tuesday focusing on tornado safety. But with the coronavirus, that makes social distancing in shelters difficult. I'm Chris Warner with what steps you can take to keep yourself safe from COVID while you're taking shelter from the storm.
There may be some big changes coming to a Walmart store near you. I'm Zach Dodge with why the company's putting a big emphasis on self-checkout and what shoppers think. Coming up.
The Four States Most Watched News starts now.
Four-staters got a bit of a scare this morning. This message alerting them to a tornado warning. This is KOAM News at 6. The alert was sent in error. The National Weather Service says it was supposed to be a test message. It was not supposed to trigger a mass phone alert. Officials say they're looking into the cause. If you heard tornado sirens this morning, that was not an accident. Missouri and Kansas conducted statewide tornado drills. Jasper County Emergency Manager Keith Stammer says when it comes to an actual tornado warning, the city has a specific policy for sounding the sirens.
When we have a tornado warning, we turn on the sirens for 3 minutes, off for 3, on for 3, off for 3, until the storm has passed. An important note is to remember that we do not sound an all clear. We've had evenings where we had several storms come by and we had to sound the siren each time.
Now, we all know that when those sirens do sound, it's time to take cover. But during this pandemic, how can we keep ourselves safe from two threats? KOAM's Chris Warner has some tips on what we can do.
While sirens sounded outside, an alert was sounded inside the halls of Joplin High School as they took part in the statewide tornado drill today.
This area is susceptible to bad and dangerous inclement weather, and so we like to be vigilant all the time because, you know, we have 2,300 kids at Joplin High School.
As the students went to their designated shelter areas, social distancing becomes an issue with 2,300 students. Principal Dr. Stephen Gilbreth says they have a plan.
The discussion has been, if you go into the you go into the shelter, obviously we have a mask mandate at the school that is still in place. Even though the city's has expired, the school policy is, to mask.
Dr. Gilbert says he knows they can't keep everyone 6 feet apart, but he believes in the guidance from local health departments and the CDC.
If there is a possible exposure, as long as everybody was masked, there won't have to be a quarantine.
Jasper County Emergency Manager Keith Stammer says he agrees.
I think mask wearing is a good thing to do. Maintaining some kind of a distance as best you can in family groups at the very least off to one side from each other. It can be done. Sometimes it's not very comfortable, but it can be done.
Stammer says you can always shelter in place at home, and in some cases, that may be your best bet for safety.
We'd like for you to make a kit, put some survival items in there, some clothes, some food, some water, flashlight, batteries and such, and take them to your survival location, which would be an interior closet or say a bathroom, somewhere with multiple walls between you and the exterior.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
In Joplin, the school shelters double as community shelters in the event of a tornado warning. You can find a list of shelters in your area on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Checking in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather. No threat of severe weather anytime in the immediate future, Nick.
No, that's certainly right, Down. Certainly nothing to worry about today after we had mostly sunny skies from start to finish. We are looking quiet on the Skywatch Storm Tracker satellite and radar loop, and a wider look at much of the country shows, apart from some rain and storms across parts of the southeast, to our immediate west. No immediate storm systems on the way for the next few days, so it's a good hint we're going to stay quiet for the next few days. Mid-50s is now more prevalent across the area, top of the 6 o'clock hour. But from there, we're going to see the trend colder. Let's go 46 by 8 o'clock, 41 by midnight. I think most spots will bottom out in the upper 30s tonight. A few more mild days to enjoy down before rain chance to sneak in. We'll break that down in the forecast here in a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Nick. Joplin's Freeman Health System has some encouraging news concerning the coronavirus. At their COVID-19 briefing today, Freeman officials said hospitalizations are down. Total of 13 COVID patients were getting treatment in Freeman West and Freeman Neosho today, compared to 66 patients at the peak. Freeman currently has one COVID patient in ICU, so the hospital is converting unit space to handle other patients. But they say the space could be equipped for COVID patients again if necessary.
But the thing that we've learned during the pandemic is that you have to be incredibly flexible. Those numbers have spiked and they've nadered many times during the past year. And so the ability to have that space or give it back flexibly as we need to.
McNabb says even people who get the vaccine could potentially spread the virus to others, so he says they should continue to wear masks and social distance. Jasper County health officials say a little more than 12% of the county has received a COVID-19 vaccine. They're trying to drive up those numbers this week with a mass vaccination clinic. Started today, continues tomorrow at Carthage's Fairview Christian Church. You do need an appointment to get a shot, you do, and they say the shot doesn't hurt.
Afterwards, I've had a lot of people say, oh, I didn't even feel that. So it's not as bad as you think it is. I think the anticipation going into it is worse than the actual shot.
That clinic continues tomorrow from 9 to 2 at Fairview Christian Church. Again, an appointment is required. Still ahead, whether they're a headache or a convenience, self-checkout stands seem to be here to stay. In fact, a local Walmart store is using them almost exclusively.
It's nice just to be able to go in there, just slide your stuff, get it in and get out.
We're going to hear what some of you think of them, their impact on jobs, and how it could affect disabled four-staters. Shoppers have differing opinions on some big changes to some of our local Walmart stores. KOAM's Zach Dodge has why one local store no longer has cashiers for the most part and what some shoppers think of the change.
What could be called a sign of the times has made its way to the four states. At the Walmart Neighborhood Market on Stone's Corner, cashiers are a thing of the past. Walmart has shifted the store entirely to self-checkout, explaining as shoppers' habits have changed, their response to meet those habits will follow. At the Neighborhood Market, there are now 12 self-checkouts and 1 pay station, increasing the total number of lanes by 2. Walmart also says they didn't let anyone go, instead shifting cashiers to online grocery pickup or to the customer host position. They also say 20 new associates are being added at the store. The store's remodel wrapped up at the end of February, and so far, some customers seem to like it.
It's nice just to be able to go in there, just slide your stuff, get it in and get out. But I hope if they do that with the machines, I hope they at least use those employees maybe to do the grocery pickups.
I like it because when I come here, I take my little sisters, so then they can do it too because they think it's cool that it beeps. But the older generations, they like to do this with the cashier because they like to be able to talk to them.
And Melinda Venter on Facebook says, I love self-checkout. In fact, I wish they had scan and go like Sam's Club. It's so much faster. But others on social media don't like the idea. Leonard Hopper says, quote, they need to rethink this. It's not just groceries people go for, it's service and interaction. And Lydia Holloway says, it's a huge mistake to eliminate cashiers. I can tell right away that this will alienate the elderly, visually impaired, and those who lack full motor functions. And Diane Siddons simply says, one more reason not to shop at Walmart. In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Walmart tells us the Supercenter in Miami, Oklahoma will also transition to mostly self-checkouts. The store is currently being remodeled, and once it's done, there will be 24 self-checkouts and 4 traditional registers. Again, they say they aren't letting any associates go. Instead, they're hiring more. A population that might have some difficulty with a self-checkout register is the elderly or people living with a disability. The Independent Living Center in Joplin works with people with disabilities and offers a service where they help clients go to the grocery store.
Lifting heavy items, a case of water or dog food to run through the self-checkout, even lifting your arm to grab the checker gun isn't always a possibility for people. I would hope that some of these self-checkouts, if not all of them, have some sort of accessibility.
Walmart tells us self-checkout hosts can help shoppers with problems they may have at the register or do the entire checkout process. We asked if the kiosks are accessible for disabled shoppers, but we have not yet heard back from the company. Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Insta poll. We're asking, how do you feel about self-checkout at stores? At this point, 21% of respondents say they like it, but the vast majority, 79%, say they do not. You can vote at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on them a bit later. Pittsburgh Fire Department is getting a new place to practice. The department's building a training tower on North Rouse. The new tower will be used for ground ladder training and will feature tubes to help train for fighting fires in confined spaces.
The effectiveness and the quality of training, a prop like this is huge. In the past, we would have to try to cobble some stuff together and kind of make it fit and really be creative in trying to design some challenging training. Now with this prop here, once it's built, we can come out here every day.
The department tells us they expect construction to be finished within a few days. Nick Kelly is up next with his complete forecast and later.
You talk to your child one time before they go to school and you're not knowing that may be their last, time that they're alive.
An Arkansas community is rattled after a school shooting. We'll have an update on the condition of the victim and why police believe it happened.
It's time to
Dry air still in place. The southwest breeze kicking in with mostly sunny skies. No wonder we saw temperatures rebound nicely throughout the course of the day. After yesterday's highs in the lower 50s, we sunk back into the upper 20s this morning and pushing near 60. So far, the highest I've seen dropping regional so far is 59 degrees, and we'll go warmer than that over the next few days. But this morning, to start things out, we were watching that upper low that we talked about last night, sitting across the Texas-Oklahoma border. It passed just to our south. Fortunately, all the good moisture with it, keeping the cloud cover and any rain chances, that stayed well to our south. So that skirted just around the area for today, and we just kept things quiet all day long, and we're still looking quiet with clear skies on the radar network. So looking outside from the station's rooftop, nice to see some daylight before the sun thinks about setting completely. 55 in Joplin, the southwest breeze at 7, and the humidity 28%. So again, the dry air in place. No wonder we wasted no time warming up throughout the course of the day. Still holding on to 60 in Independence. Everybody else is sitting in the mid to upper 50s at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. Again, in addition to the dry air, it was that southwest breeze that we have throughout the day, sustained at 5 to 15 miles per hour. There have been times where we've seen gusts push 20, maybe 22, 23 miles per hour, but that breeze lightens up as we go throughout the evening, and as that sun sets, we're going to cool down again. Thankfully, not as cold as this morning. We'll fall through the 50s, 40s, down into the upper 30s for most, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of our northern and western communities drop back into the mid-30s before we shoot right back up on the thermostat tomorrow. Okay, back to the maps we go. Let's zoom out. Any signs of that system passing to our south is now working across parts of the deep south and the southeast, so that's where all the rain chances are for the next few days. At the surface, we have high pressure to our south and the low pressure centered across southeast Colorado. In between, that's where our southwest wind will continue to come from as we head into tomorrow. In addition to that, the jet stream setup shows this upper level ridge. That will keep us quiet and mild for the next few days before we see this upper low west of Los Angeles. That will be our next rainmaker by the time we get the weekend started. For now, though, we're just keeping it nice and smooth sailing from here on out. Let's go mostly clear tonight. Again, most areas in the upper 30s, but you can see some of our northern and western communities may try to sneak back into the mid-30s. But for most of you, let's say 38 for the overnight low with the southwest breeze at 5 to 10. Then, looking great again for the day tomorrow and warming up in a hurry, too. 62 by lunchtime. I'm thinking Joplin tops out around 68. Everyone's fair game to go into the upper 60s tomorrow. But I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you hit 70 before the day is all said and done. So that upper level setup, the upper ridge, keeps us quiet and mild again for Thursday. Then that system out west sneaks in on Friday. That's going to be our next best shot for widespread rain chances. And you can see what it does with temperatures on the 7-day forecast. 68 tomorrow, 67 on Thursday. With all the cloud cover and the rain chances we're expecting on Friday, we'll be cooling down very temporarily until the highs back to 52, then back near 60 Saturday and Sunday. 60s continue into early next week, down with maybe a shot for thunderstorms by next Tuesday.
I imagine a lot of people are going to take this opportunity to get outside and breathe in some of that fresh air while they can for the next couple of days.
Yeah, we're all definitely going to enjoy this.
Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, an Arkansas teenager fights for his life after a school shooting. We're going to have what police believe happened and what's next. 15-year-old boy is in serious condition in a community south of Little Rock, Arkansas after a shooting at his junior high school yesterday. Police say a classmate pulled the trigger and that student is now in custody. Reporter Paris Kane has the reaction.
I can tell you that I have had staff members crying in the hall and students embracing their parents.
It's every parent's worst nightmare.
Really touch home because I have a middle schooler and a high schooler.
Janelle Castor just moved to Pine Bluff a little over a week ago and was devastated to hear the news of what went down at Watson Chapel Junior High.
You talk to your child one time before they go to school and you're not knowing that may be their last, time that they're alive.
District Superintendent Dr. Jerry Guest says it happened just before 10 Monday morning.
The teachers locked down their classrooms, turned out their lights, protected their children.
Pine Bluff police say it was a targeted event and believe it was a disagreement between the two young men.
Know that they're working to investigate and discover whatever motives might exist beyond that.
The 15-year-old victim was flown to Children's Hospital and is in serious condition.
My heart just go out to the mom. If she's listening right now, I'm here for you. I'm praying for you, and I'm just hoping that that your heart is comfort at this time.
The suspect was located and taken to Jack Jones Juvenile Detention Center.
Students need to understand how precious life is. We all do.
Dr. Guest says they have a certified deputy sheriff and a separate employee charged with maintaining security on their secondary campus. Pine Bluff police say there was no officer present at the time of the shooting.
Can we do more? I'm sure we can.
Is there any consideration for, upping any security or anything like that around the schools?
We're always interested in what we can do to improve our security.
Dr. Guest says they're already in talks with local law enforcement about ways to enhance security. While they work on that, counselors and outside resources are also going to be helping heal the students and staff.
They're going to be here. So I can tell you that in moments of tragedy such as this, the good in people comes out, and we're getting a tremendous outpouring of support and offers for help.
Prosecutors will decide in the next few days whether to charge the suspect as a juvenile or an adult. Final check on the weather is next. Take time now to honor a local veteran, Corporal Gregory Clemens. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Marine Corps, and we are proud to salute Corporal Gregory Clemens. He's tonight's four-state hero. All right, let's check in on tonight's KOAM News Now Insta poll. Again, a Joplin Walmart neighborhood market is switching to almost entirely self-checkout lanes, and we want to know how you feel about self-checkout stores. At this point, it's not particularly close. 19% of respondents say they like it. The rest, 81%, they do not. You can vote at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. We're going to keep this poll open. We're going to have the final results tonight on KOAM News at 9. Here's a look at what else is coming up on our sister station, KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. New data shows the COVID vaccination process has turned things around in many nursing homes. Plus, new flights are announced for the Joplin Regional Airport. And of course, that discussion over self-grocery checkout becoming the new thing. That and a lot more tonight at 9. In the meantime, Nick Kelly, it might be a nice night to get out for a walk around the neighborhood. Pretty nice weather out there.
Absolutely. Chilly to start, but yeah, we're looking nice to start the evening out now. And if you missed the mild temperatures today, we'll go 68 tomorrow, 67 Thursday. Rain chances Friday, cool us down temporarily, then 60s return for the weekend and early next week.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
If you see news